This is going to be an especially important final expense telesales training video because we're going to cover something that every telesales agent has issues with, which is how to be completely prepared for those first dials. Or if you're selling through our agency, being prepared for the first clients that call in for a quote, because if you're one of our agents, you're working with those live inbound call-in final expense TV leads. And it's not even about being prepared for the call, but being prepared for when the client actually says, yes, I'll take it. Coming up next. I'm Doug Massey, and as always, please give this video a thumbs up, and if for some reason you haven't subscribed, do that now. We're putting out new final expense sales related content on a weekly basis, and if you'll bear with me for the entire video, I'm going to show you how to get a copy of this important telesales medical questions page that every agent selling final expense over the phone should definitely have. The medical questions page has all the pertinent health questions, so it's going to make it easier for you to decide which product to sell the client, and it's also designed as a place for you to write like a lot of stuff. Your client's information, the date of birth, if they smoke or not, their medications, their social, even their banking information. Just hang around to the end of the video. I'm going to show you how to get a copy of this for yourself. Allow me to save you from something kind of embarrassing that we see and hear every single new agent go through. I'm talking about what to do when the client says yes, they want to buy. And now you have to do the application process along with a phone interview. You see, this is where most agents freeze up. And once they push through this, they freeze a second time, later on during the same call. The trick is to be totally prepared in a way that lets your client keep their confidence in you without you, fumbling and bumbling like it's your first telesale, even though it is. Here's what you want to do. First, make sure to do a mock sale with whatever product you plan on writing today. If you're new, you should only be concentrating on writing your main carrier or guaranteed issue product that you have in your bag. I would go through the entire application process with both of those. If you're doing a tele application, like what Royal Neighbors or Liberty Bankers Life uses, get on the phone and either speak with them about exactly what is going to be asked and in what order, or do an app on yourself or a family member. If you're writing a carrier like Prosperity, make sure to do the e-app on yourself or someone you know. They request that you do not do a practice test application with their system, so if you don't have someone that that you can make your first sale to, that's okay. Just keep in mind that the application process, it's just going to ask everything that is on the telesales question page that I mentioned earlier. Tip number 2, have a window already opened with the application ready to go. That way, when the client picks the option, you just click on that window and start the application process. And tip number 3. Here's where most agents totally freeze up. So once you send in the e-app part of the sale, with companies like Prosperity is how they do it. You do the e-app first. You're going to have to call in with your client and do a short 10-minute voice signature. They're going to, read to your client all the stuff, the statements, basically verifying that the client understands how life insurance works and understands that they're committing to a monthly payment, etc. They're going to read a bunch of stuff to them. You want to prep your clients for this call and just make sure that they say, yes, I understand and will approve this as my signature. Again, you need to be prepared to do that 3-way call. Prep them. As I said before, this is where, when we listen to the recordings or listen in on our agent's calls, the agent freezes and is like trying to fumble around, figure out the phone number, figure out how to do the 3-way call, and they kind of sound like an idiot. They don't know what they're doing, and a lot of times you'll hear them go into panic mode. A great way to avoid this from happening is to use an auto dialer that has its own phone number and can take incoming calls. You should be using an auto dialer either way, whether you're working inbound live TV leads like the ones we use, or if you're doing the dialing yourself. With an auto dialer, you're going to be able to have all the phone numbers for each of the insurance carriers saved in the dialer's phone book. So all you got to do when it's time to make that three-way call, or well, some call it a supervised transfer, is click the button and voila, your client and you are speaking with, Aptical or DEMA or directly to the insurance carrier. You can have a bunch of numbers already in the dialer, labeled by name, ready to go. An easy dialer that I can recommend is the Dolphin Dialer by EVS7. If you're not using a dialer, just make sure to have the phone numbers taped or tacked to the wall, next to your computer. Just be prepared. For a copy of the Telesales Medical Questions page mentioned earlier, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com for information on joining our telesales platform, which means starting commission levels at 100% along with the access to our live inbound TV lead leads. Just shoot me an email at that same address. Did I say it right? I don't know. Remember, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.